Hello, welcome to Stockholm's Östra Station, or Stockholm East Station. I just came up from the T-bana at Tekniska Högskolan, I think, and I'm going to now get on the Roslagsbanan, which is being translated everywhere as light rail. See, there and there. It's not really light rail. Instead, it's Stockholm's weird, unique suburban railway. So here's some history, and I'll see you getting on the 619 train to Näsbypark. The history of the Roslagsbanan dates back to 1885, when the Stockholm Rimbo Railway, or SRJ, built a line from Stockholm Östra Station north to Rimbo. This was one of many narrow-gauge railways in Roslagen, a coastal area north of Stockholm. The SRJ, however, was by far the most successful of the bunch and started acquiring all the surrounding rail lines. By the turn of the 20th century, the SRJ was the main rail operator in Roslagen, and by 1909 they had over 300 kilometers of narrow-gauge track all throughout the area. At the beginning of 1909, the Stockholm Rimbo Railway was rebranded as the Stockholm Roslagen Railway, keeping its acronym the same. They operated rail lines across the region, from Stockholm in the south to Lovstabruk in the north. The network was diverse, from the commuter railroads of the Roslagsbanan to small rural branch lines to even a failed tram line. The SRJ was nationalized in 1951, and then in 1959 it came under the ownership of SJ, the Swedish State Railways. SJ then promptly started shutting down a massive number of rail lines across Sweden, focusing on narrow-gauge lines like the Roslagsbanan. Under the guise of lower costs, and owing to the construction of a nearby highway, SJ shut down huge swaths of the Roslagsbanan network, especially in the north. Lines slowly shut down or became freight-only throughout the 1960s and early 1970s. By this time, most lines looked to be almost certainly gone, but in 1972, SL, the Stockholm Public Transit Agency owned by the Stockholm County Council, took over the remaining lines south of Rimbo. One other line survived and still has passenger service today, and that one will be the subject of a future video. After SL took over, new X10P trains were purchased, but many sections faced closure. The Djursholms Ösby to Etavagen line was closed in 1976, and the main line to Rimbo was closed north of Kårsta in 1981. SL also proposed shutting down this line even further south to Lindholmen, but thankfully this never went through. In 2007, SL began a modernization process, with double tracks being implemented across much of the network. Many proposals have been made for expansions of the network, including extensions south into downtown Stockholm, west towards Arlanda Airport, and north to Rimbo. While none of these came into fruition, the lines received a massive upgrade in 2023, with new X15P trains built by Stadler. So now, let's go explore the Roslagsbanan and see how incredible and weird it truly is. Okay, this is an old train. That's a new train. My train's there. It's a new train. I came up here though to show you that tri gauge. Looks really tiny, right? This is Swedish 3-foot gauge. It's 2 feet 11 and some fraction inches wide, and it's one of the narrowest, 891 millimeters. It's one of the narrowest gauges still active in commercial service in the whole world, and it's called Swedish 3-foot gauge because Sweden used to have their own measuring system, and 3 Swedish feet was 891 millimeters. I'm going to get on that train, the 617 to Näsbypark, but first, let's tap on. Perfect. And let's go get on this train. So these are brand new trains built by Stadler. I think they have some similarities with the GTW design, but they're of course with the narrow gauge. And what I'm looking for is apparently these trains have power outlets. I would really like to find one. But yeah, these are the new trains. If you've been on a Stadler GTW, it's like that, but a bit narrower. These power outlets, they might be. I can't tell. Let's try and find some power outlets. So we left Stockholm's Östra Station. We passed a small yard, which is not the main yard for the system. That one is further up. And there were a mix of both old and new trains in there. And I will ride both types, but the new trains were incredibly quiet, and I'll leave you in suspense about the old trains, but I've heard they are very loud. I'll leave you in suspense about what they actually were, but then I filmed this time-lapse that you're seeing now, and I'll see you at Djursholms Ösby Station. So we're pulling at the Djursholms Ösby Station. You're noticing that there's a track to our left, so we're running on the right, but we're not. That's actually because we are splitting off right now onto the Näsbypark Branch. Also, one thing I love is that Väntvagen is the next stop. It says, this is Djursholms Ösby, and the next stop is Väntvagen, which is genius. But yeah, we're here at Djursholms Ösby. This is a very cool station that we will be passing through again, and actually changing at again. So, yeah, it's one of two junction stations, because of course there are three branches, the Kårsta, Österskär, and Näsbypark branches. Yeah, so we're on the Näsbypark branch, and this is where it splits off. So with that, I will see you further up the branch. I have to admit, it's very funny that Roslagsbanan is translated to this light rail. I mean, I don't know if I'd call this heavy rail, but it's not light rail. Especially considering SL does run tram lines, which we will be seeing in a video coming out in, I guess, 2 weeks. Yeah, alright. We are approaching Altorp. The platform is actually on this side. Ooh, it's a double platform, so I guess trains can pass each other here. My train is at 6:50 and it's 6:33 now. Alrighty, Altorp, here's a foamer shot. I'm on the inbound platform now at Altorp Station. We have about 12 minutes till our 6:50 train back south, just two stops down to Väntvagen, which, come to think of it, I may actually get one stop down at Östberga, because it just looks more charming. But yeah. This is essentially just a very suburban area that the line run through. And right here, just I'm not entirely sure what the stage is, but I'm glad that there's some hiking trails there. There's some sort of building here. I think that this might be a schoolhouse. And I'm not sure what, if anything, is there. But it's a very charming station, which I think is even more the case because up there you see the line like runs into a forest. I think I've decided that instead of Väntvagen, I'm gonna go to Östberga, because from the train that looks very charming. So just one stop down. As for a rating, I'm not even gonna get close to visiting every Roslagsbanan station, but I'll be visiting quite a few. So Altorp is gonna get, an 8 out of 10. I do love the charming factor, but I don't love how it's pretty, like, its walkshed appears to be a lot of forest. I will note that there's very little parking. There might be a few spots there, but that's basically it. It's pretty much like, it's a fine station. I think the charming factors boosted its score a lot. So Altorp gets an 8. My train is in about 10 minutes, and I'll see you again on board. So I hopped on the train one stop down from Altorp to Ösberga, and then I got there, and it was a really charming station. But sadly, I lost the clip of me reviewing it. If you've been following my community posts, you know that I had some iCloud issues in Europe, and so I had to offload all of my videos, and seemingly I lost this one clip. But it is a very, very charming station. It's got this like off like street access loop, which I think is cool. So I'm going to retroactive give Ösberga 9 out of 10. And now I'll see you up on the train arriving at Näsbypark. So they do have English announcements at the final station with a very crunchy British TS voice, and we're pulling in. I need to put my charger away because again, these trains are amazing because they have outlets. Love these trains. Love the style. Thank you for being good. And now let's go get a bus. Oh well, no. First, let's go review Näsbypark Station. Alright, no. First, let's get off the train. Okay, welcome to Näsbypark. This is kind of TOD. I don't know. It is this TOD vote now because it's like not really urban, but it is definitely development that is oriented around the transit. As for a station review, this is basically just this is a pretty good station, but the charming scale is not off the charts, and more in fact, it's not even really on the charts. So I'm going to give Näsbypark Station, I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, just a perfectly average station. The bus connections here are a bit weird. They're like two looping routes that go over for the Tabby Stockholm, and also that go where we're going, which is Roslagens Näsby Trafikplats. And if you know Swedish, you know the Trafikplats is Swedish for like interchange, or like I'm not sure exactly what it's for, but it's like roughly highway interchange. So yeah, we're getting a bus from a highway interchange. Most people when they go to Europe, they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go see the sights." I'm like, "No, I will wake up at 5 a.m. and then we'll get a bus from a highway interchange." So, keeping in the theme of why exactly am I going here, I got the 619 to the Roslagens Näsby Trafikplats, and then I got the 676 bus, which is one of Stockholm's only double-decker buses, up to the Söderhals Trafikplats, which is another highway interchange, this one in the middle of nowhere, with the only thing there being a gas station. So, I'm going to traffic interchanges and gas stations. I am going to the most tourist locations ever, clearly. I then got on the 665 bus, which went on a really, really, really rural road down to Kårsta Station, where I then walked around the very small and almost kind of dead looking town a bit, and over to Kårsta Station, where I started my excursions of the Kårsta branch. So, I'll see you at Kårsta Station. This is a little footpath down to the station. So, yeah. Even if we do get the bus, I'm gonna get it from the station. Yeah, just because, why not? I love how just the vibes here are just amazing. The Näsbypark branch was super charming, suburb-wise. This is just, beautiful and rural. The vibes are, not at Altorp. We broke the charm meter. We have now broke the vibes meter. If this is the vibes meter, we're here. Cool. Oh, is there a foot crossing here? Oh, I did not realize that. Well, it looks like a foot crossing. And this is the station, yeah. Alright, well, I guess we can go use the foot crossing. This is the last stop on the line, so these are just tail tracks up here. But yeah, a little foot crossing. Fun, yeah, you see the track ends right down there. So this is Kårsta Station. I'm just gonna wait here till the train comes. I'll film it coming in. If it's an old train, definitely riding it. I think I'm still gonna take it if it's a new train, but we'll see the bus before we see the train, and that will be our decision point. Because if the bus is weird, we're gonna take the bus. Kårsta Station. I think this is probably an original station building. Oh, I guess since I'm here, I should rate Kårsta. The fact that there's a train line that goes up this far is really great, and it's really rural, and it's accessible, and it's charming, and there's a bus connection to one bus runs every 2 hours, one that runs twice a day. I mean, I really don't see any ways that the station could be improved. It's just amazing and charming. I think Kårsta's gonna get a 10 out of 10. I love rural train lines. I love rural train lines. I love weird train lines, and I love like transit anomalies, and this is all three. So, yeah. So I filmed the train arriving, and I decided to, instead of doing train all the way to my next stop or bus all the way to my next stop, I did the train one stop to Ekskogen, and then I took the bus down to Frösunda. I didn't actually rate Ekskogen station, because I wasn't planning to stop there, and I kind of forgot. But it's just a small station in a town that is somehow actually smaller than Kårsta. But it has the same bus connection to the 661, which runs twice a day. I then took this 661 down to Frösunda, which is not only a really cool and extremely rural station, but also has another very interesting thing nearby, specifically a 15th century church. So let's go see that now, shall we? Right there is the incredible 15th century Frösunda church, and now the bus, it was consistently running early, and it sits at every time point, and the time point, we're very close to the Frösunda station, but one does not simply go to Frösunda, Sweden, and not visit the Frösunda Kyrka, the Frösunda church. Incredibly beautiful, and frankly, it's really cool. So, yeah. This is the 661 and 668, so you can see twice a day for the 661, and a whopping 5 times a day for the 660. No, wait, no, that's the 661 going the other direction. No, it's twice a day for the 661. It's definitely not 5 times a day for the 661 in either direction. Yeah. All right, well, there's a little grade cross there, so you can see we're still right to the train line. This is the amazing church. I don't think it's open, sadly. The gates look closed, but it is very beautiful, and beautiful. Yeah, I don't think it's open. Here's some history in Swedish, which I will I mean, you can read that if you can read Swedish, but this is just really beautiful. And there was the bus. It's just amazing that this is accessible by both a bus but also an hourly electric train. It's great. All right, well, this is the Frösunda Kyrka in Frösunda, Sweden, and that is a cool flag. I'm genuinely not sure what this flag is. It's in the Nordic style of a triangular flag, but it's not the Swedish flag, so I'm very confused. But yeah, that was the Frösunda church. Very, very cool. And now let's walk up to the Frösunda station. Order of business number 1. Let's see if the station building is open. I highly doubt it, but maybe. There's a message there in Swedish. It actually looks like someone's house, and it is not open. Well, that's sad, but it is a very cool station building still. It was an island platform? That's surprising. That might be why the station building's closed, because it's an island platform. Interesting. So you cross the northbound track, and then it's an island platform. Okay, well, this is, amazing. Oh, okay, so this is definitely the old station building, because it says 21 kilometers från Rimbo. Från is Swedish for 2, and Rimbo is where the line used to go before they cut it back to Kårsta. And hey, let's tap in. Okay, we've tapped in. The signs are showing the time of 9:45 a.m., but it's not working. Yeah, I'm very curious. Have they updated anything recently? They don't have a schedule here, so I can't tell you. Maybe it's on the other side. Yes, the schedule. Let's see. This is the updated schedule, so someone has come here and updated it. Yeah, the least used station on all of SL, getting about 60 riders per day as the last stats, which I think for 2022. Which is actually more than I would have expected. I'm not entirely sure if it's per day or like per week or something, but the stats were reported as 60 passengers per, I assume, day. I'm not entirely sure of that because I can't read Swedish and the dock is only in Swedish, but based on the other numbers, it would only make sense to be per day. This is a bit of a loose panel here. I have to say, amazing station. The charm is just insane. Yes, it serves like nothing, but that's fine. They're horses. It's a transit accessible horse, guys. Transit accessible horse. All right, yeah. We have broken the charm meter once again. Frösunda, 10 out of 10. It's just too charming to not. I love this. All right, and now a monster voiceover because this video is already getting quite long. So I headed up to Kårsta on an old train, and then I reversed back south. The northern end of the Kårsta branch from Lindholmen north to Kårsta is very cool and rural. The southern end is mostly just suburbs. There is a cool bridge over a traffic circle in Vallentuna, but aside from that, there is not that much that is interesting along the southern section of the branch. But I rode down to Djursholms Ösby, where instead of changing to the Näsbypark branch, which diverged there, I changed to the Österskär Branch, which I then took out to Vigbyholm, which is a very charming little station, sort of similar to Altorp. It is just in the middle of the suburbs, but it has a foot crossing nearby and a station cafe. So I took part in some fika at the station cafe, and then I went to the foot crossing to foam. Vigbyholm, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. The one gripe I have with it is that since it's an island platform station, it's three tracks, but it's an island and a side platform. The side platform should be on the side where the station building and the station cafe are. It's not. That's annoying, but aside from that, it's a good station. I then continued out on the Österskär branch, which passes through a mix of super suburban and super rural areas, including two stations, Rydbo and Taljo, which serve just these very cute, charming small towns in the same vein as Kårsta and Ekskogen. We then entered Åkersberga, which is a very big, like, suburban mall area place, which we will come back to. And then we went through some small suburbs that seemed quite charming to the terminus at Österskär. So I'll see you at Österskär now. Alrighty, welcome to Österskär, which also has a station building, which is a little shop of some sort, I think. I do not have time to go in because it's like 4 minutes until we turn around. But yes, there's a little station shop at Österskär. That's charming. Yeah, we have 4 minutes. I'm gonna then get a quick shot of the train. One thing that's weird is that it's a side platform, like dual side platform terminal, which is odd. Because like every other terminal has been either every single one has been single track except for Stockholm's Östra, which was a big station. So yeah, this is these are the new trains. That was the Österskär branch. I'm gonna get a quick shot of it here. Just a quick review of the station. Serves a lot of single family homes, suburb land. Not really bad suburbs. Like nice walk, a couple of European suburbs, but still suburbs. I like the store. I think the side platform layout's a bit confusing, but you can cross on both ends. There are foot crossings on both ends. So Österskär Station is gonna get I think we're gonna give this a 7 out of 10. It's just a pretty average Roslagsbanan station, but an average Roslagsbanan station is pretty good. All right, I'll see you getting back on the train. You can see all the crowds here at Åkersberga. It's a very big station. We're here. My bus is in about 20 minutes. I'm gonna use said 20 minutes to go get some water because I realized that the water I bought at Vigbyholm needs a bottle of opener, and I don't have one. But before we do that, let's go film this train one last time. So I mentioned getting a bus. Where was I getting a bus to? Why did I just let the train go back to Stockholm without me? Well, because I was taking an interesting route to go film my next vid, which will come out in 4 weeks. What I did is I took the 622 bus to Lerviksvägen. I walked down to the Lervik ferry dock, and then I took a Vaxholmsbolaget ferry through the Stockholm archipelago, including stopping at some islands where the ferry is not only their only transit, but their only way in or out, period. And then I took that to go film my next vid, which, as I said, will come out in 4 weeks. So I'll see you on board the ferry with some views and a debrief and an outro. Alright, the boat filming is not till after Vaxholm, and by boat filming, I mean we make a ton of tiny stops at a bunch of cute tiny islands, and I want to film that. Let's do a little debrief on the Roslagsbanan. You know what? I'm making an executive decision. This debrief will be the outro. You'll have to wait till my next European vid to see the tiny boat stops. Alright, Roslagsbanan. Essentially, it's amazing and charming and really cute, and I love that it still exists. It's very much unique. It's very weird, very charming. Highly recommend a ride, especially Frösunda and that ranch up for Kårsta. Yeah, it's great. As for improvements, I like the new trains a lot. I think that they need to fully introduce those. They're great. The old ones are fun and retro, but the new ones are significantly better. I can tell that. And yeah, I really like it a lot, and I think you should, if you're ever in Stockholm, ride the Roslagsbanan. So yeah, that is that. I hope you enjoyed this video on Stockholm's weird, unique suburban railway. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.